starting a business obviously is not easy, because if it was, everybody would be doing it.
Mm.
But I think we just it we had a foundation in our marriage, when we were even younger. I mean, and it still carries over to this. I mean, just communication and talking to each other, and just being honest and supportive. And to me, her being supportive of something that, I felt like this was a calling, and I believe it. I believe it was a calling, because all the circumstances that happened, like, you just could not script, the good and the bad. So I really felt strongly, and she believed in me. And, and a lot of prayer and tears and all of that, but to have her support at the end of the day was just huge. There's no way we could have done it without that, and without her being on board with it. So it was not easy, and there's been several times that we've been back up against the wall and saying, God, if there's something else you want us to do.
Thriving in Tandem. It's a podcast for you, the married entrepreneur that wants to win in business and marriage at the same time.
Welcome to Thriving in Tandem.
Hey, Thriving in Tandem family. Welcome back to this week's episode.
Hi, you guys.
And this week we have Robbie and Nicole Harper. Robbie I've got to know because we sit on the board for the U.S. Christian Chamber of Commerce. I've got to know him. But this is my first time meeting his wife, Nicole. So now, honey, we get to hear the other side.
Ooh,
so whatever Robbie
good.
said to me before, now I get to hear the truth. So we get to ask the other side. But Robbie and Nicole, they're co-founders of Blue Ridge PR, a public relations firm focused on building reputation for faith-driven and values-based organizations. He serves on the board of the U.S. Christian Chamber of Commerce, as I said, but also on the Central Florida Christian Chamber of Commerce. And Nicole, even though they co-founded Blue Ridge PR together, but she's also currently the children's minister at Stetson Baptist Church. They live in DeLand, Florida with their 3 children, and you can always connect with them at blueridgepr.com. All the links are in the show notes. So, Robbie, Nicole, welcome to Thriving in Tandem.
Thanks.
Hi there.
Yeah, glad to be here.
All right, so let's get down to this. So, co-founded Blue Ridge PR together. Now, was this a, hey, let's do this together, or did one go kicking and screaming, or somewhere in between?
Oh man, that's a story in and of itself. How
All
it
right, there we
started.
go.
Man.
Oh, God.
Well, yeah,
She's all
yeah,
excited.
How far back do you want to go?
yeah.
Time machine.
Well, I do not recommend somebody starting a business this way,
Okay, that's
for
great.
sure. But it's just the way that, God's plan, that the way that it worked out. I got a job with a public relations agency, and it was about, maybe it was, I don't know, it's been 11, 12 years ago now, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I started there. Actually, it was a firm based up in Atlanta, Chris's neck of the woods, but they opened up a satellite office down here in Florida. And it was a friend of mine who I knew from college who hired me, and asked if I wanted to do PR. And I'd done a little bit of it in my past, but not a lot. And so they brought me on, and I started doing media relations for, most of their clients were attorneys. And so it was interesting because, dealing with attorneys and the legalese and all of that they deal with, and getting them in the media for various things. But long story short, the firm that was there, and the person, there just was an incompatibility issue, I would say, and it got to be it just wasn't a good fit. And so I had to leave. Like, I talked to her, and I was miserable. Like, I wasn't eating, I wasn't sleeping. And she's like, you got to do something. And so I left, and I knew how to run a business because I used to work for my parents, in agriculture, of all things, here in Florida. So I knew how to run a business. I knew how to do PR. And if I was ever going to do this, that was the time to do it. So
You were what, 30? We were 35,
yeah.
34,
No, a little younger.
34-ish.
It's like early 30s.
At that time, I'm a stay-at-home mom. So income goes
Yeah.
to nothing. We live on savings and
And
what
thankfully
we
we
can.
thankfully we didn't have any debt other than our house and had some savings. So that was in of its if that hadn't happened, I don't think it would have worked.
The best part of that story is the best part of that story is that I have this very vivid memory of Robbie pulling down our driveway, and he's on the phone with his best friend, and they're kind of just talking on the way home because it was a long drive, and probably hashing out some of the stuff that was going on in his world. And I left two of the kids in the house, and I walked out and I knocked on his window, and he rolled the window down. He's on the phone, and I said, "I'm pregnant." And he goes, "I'll call you back."
That's how you broke the news.
Well, it was the third.
Timing,
I mean, it's a
Nicole.
third kid at that point.
We had I love her timing. Knock, knock, knock. Oh, guess what?
I can be real dramatic and real fancy pants, and sometimes I can just be very like, oh, okay, this is happening. This is happening
Yeah.
now. And we'd experienced infertility for years with before we had our second child, and so we never knew if we'd get pregnant with the third one. And so God has a really just fun sense of humor. And so we went through a pregnancy with our third child and building this business, and
Yeah.
it was wild, which is also how we know how old the business is because
Yeah.
our youngest just turned 10. So it's really easy to know how old
Yeah,
it is.
he's a walking monument of
Oh, that's funny. So, okay, so did you immediately start working together? Nicole, did you start helping him out building this thing, or how did that
I think I think more in the beginning it was just support, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there was nothing to build. There was nothing to build on. There was nothing to do. And at that time, I'm, trying to keep my head above water with two kids and head out of the toilet with being pregnant. And so, he really, it was a lot of just having to do a lot of legwork. Thankfully, starting Blue Bridge was easy in the way of you don't need equipment, you don't need office space. You have a laptop and we'll get it done. And so it was a lot of I just kept kind of the home fires burning so that he could start pursuing this stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Still, as you said earlier, finances and kids,
Being
getting a
pregnant.
third one, all kind of the stress that comes along with it. How did you kind of navigate that? 'Cause especially when the finances always cause a big stress, plus you weigh on everything else. So how did you guys navigate that?
I mean, it wasn't easy. I mean, starting a business obviously is not easy because if it was, everybody would be doing it. But I think we just it we had a foundation in our marriage, when we were even younger. I mean, and it still carries over to this. I mean, just communication and talking to each other and just being honest and supportive. And to me, her being supportive of something that, I felt like this was a calling. And I believe it. I believe it was a calling because all the circumstances that happened, like you just could not script the good and the bad, right? I mean, and so I really felt strongly, and she believed in me. And, and a lot of prayer and tears and all of that, but to have her support at the end of the day was just huge. I mean, there's no way we could have done it without that and without her being on board with it. So, it was not easy. And there's been several times that we've been back up against the wall and saying, God, if there's something else you want us to do, open a door, right? Like if you want something else, make that known, make that clear, make that crystal clear. And usually when that happens, like something happens, right? Like it takes that moment of surrender when we're kind of freaked out and not sure when this client's going to pay or whatever that may be. And so yeah, I mean, it's just, I think to summarize all of that, it's just commitment to each other and not giving up.
We have a really good dynamic of for some reason it works out that only one of us have a complete meltdown and freak out at a time.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
always good.
it really does. Like there are days when we're both really, really struggling with the business, with kids, with life, just
Yeah.
things. And so it tends to be that if sometimes we're sometimes we do it at the same time, but it tends to be that if he is just spiraling and having a really bad day, I'm like, okay, we could do this. We can live another day. Like let's keep moving on. And then very much vice versa. I tend to spiral more than he does. And so I think he compartmentalizes better. I'm very out there. And so we tend to can drag the other one along when one of us doesn't have the strength to keep moving.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's dig into that a little bit because this is typical. I mean, same with us, right? Especially because Kaylee's more of a verbal processor, and I'm probably more like Robbie, internal processor, and all that. So when you take the same spiraling, more it's like Kaylee's expressing her feelings and emotions. Now, how do you navigate that, right? Because obviously, I want to be like, okay, I need to just think about this, and then she's talking. And I'm like, ugh. So how have you learned to navigate that? Because obviously, like for what I've had to learn, or we've had to have to learn, we have to give each other that space of how they need to process, right? So how have you guys learned to navigate those moments when one's spiraling and one's not?
Yeah, I mean, you just said it. I mean, I think it's just giving space to do it, right? Like, I mean, there's been times where I've just been angry and mad and like not at her, but just at life, right? And just sort of circumstance. And she's just like, go for a walk. And like I said, we live near a wildlife refuge and it's a great place to go out and walk. And sometimes I just need that time just to pray and to get out and to walk.
I am the verbal process.
Yeah, and she is. And so I mean, you can speak to that, but you just, I think a lot of times need to be heard and want to be heard.
And sometimes I just have to verbally work it out. Like as weird and as strange as this sounds, we use this app a lot called Marco Polo, which is like a video app to chat back and forth. Instead of doing audio messages, it's video. And so I will just verbally unload sometimes in Marco. Sometimes it's to my best friend, sometimes it's to him. Actually, I know. But sometimes, and here's the weird thing that I found with myself. When I play back and I listen to myself verbally unload, it's almost like I've been able to say it and then I've been able to hear it again. And it helps me like process through it. It's really weird. It's not narcissistic that I want to like listen to my own voice again, but it helps me like, it's almost like I'm saying it to myself and being like, yeah. So he's a very good listener. I think sometimes he blocks me out, but he just lets me go.
Talk about Robbie or Marco?
Both of them.
Yeah, no.
So we've been together in some way, shape, or form for, I can't even do the math. Like
We've been married for 22 years.
Married 2 years, and we got together 6 years before that. So we have grown up together. So we've
literally
lived a lot of life together.
Yeah, literally high school sweethearts.
When Nicole tells Robbie, oh, you need to go for a walk, and then Robbie will say, like, oh, you need to talk to Marco.
Yeah, I need to talk to the app and go send video messages to my friends so that they can verbally process from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think just on the heels of that, just, none of this would work if and I kind of said this before, but just to reinstate it, that if our communication relationship isn't solid, we don't.
And we felt that slip before.
We have, and we kind of like, okay, maybe we need a little bit of a gut check, like a little course correction, and we just like, all right, let's talk through this. Like
the kids need to, like, there's been times we've locked ourselves in the bedroom, and the kids are like banging on the door, we're like, go away, we're having a conversation. And so now that they're older now, it's easier to do that, but it's just times when we got to block out some conversation.
Yeah.
I'm like, Mom, I need you. Mom, I need you. What are you doing, Mom? When are you coming out?
They're 10, 12, and 17 now, so they're generally pretty fine. And I am a big proponent of sticking them in front of a TV so that you can have like a conversation, right? Like 30 minutes in front of the television is not going to kill anybody, so that you can have a coherent conversation.
Right.
You got to do what you got to do.
So that leads me to the question about having the business, raising kids. You also have your job too, Nicole. How do you make sure you have those moments for yourself, number one, and also with each other, and then of course have time for the kids and all that stuff?
I'm a mother and I'm a wife and I'm doing all these things. So do I have a whole lot of time for myself? No, I'm also probably really bad at taking time for myself because I feel like I'm taking it away from somebody who needs me. Right. It's that constant, like somebody needs me. And sometimes it's a little bit of a martyr syndrome of like, people can't live without me. I'm needed by everybody, but don't shake your head at that.
Yeah, she can see. She doesn't need eyes in the back of her head. No, she can just see it on the screen.
I can see you. But it is a lot. I mean, as typically as women, we're trying to handle everything and take care of everybody and do everything. And then on the end, in the last 3 years, I have become a children's minister at our church, which was never. I was a teacher. I was a stay-at-home mom. Like that's
And helped in the business.
and helped in the business
yeah.
and helped in the church. And so we are, taking time for myself and our marriage. We were talking about this last night. It's an interesting dynamic, I guess, because he works for himself. I mean, he is the only employee, really.
Subcontract work.
Right. But I mean, he's not sitting in an office. He doesn't have a bunch of people he's, talking to. And so it can be a little isolating, very isolating. And as you can see, he's working from our oldest son's bedroom. So like my oldest son sits back there and works at his computer. And then I work for our church, and we've been members of this church our entire marriage. And so we're like very connected with the church and kind of very inside baseball with our church, just being there for so long. And so now I'm working for the church. And so it's like every aspect of our lives overlaps, where we worship, where our jobs, and then like my job obviously overlaps with where we worship because it's the same place. And so it's this interesting dynamic of our whole world and our daughter goes to the school at the church. So it's like this dynamic of like our whole world is wrapped up in these very tight circles. And it's really good because it keeps things tight and neat, but it can also be really complicated because everything is so intertwined.
Yeah.
Where you worship and where you work can be tricky sometimes.
Yeah. So
how do you guys take time for yourselves? I mean, like together. I mean, Nicole said it was hard for her to take time for herself, but as a couple, how do you guys do that?
We went out for ice cream the other night.
Yeah, yeah.
We had our small group meeting, and when that was done, the kids were at home, and I was like, how about we go by Culver's and get some ice cream?
Hey, let's do it.
Let's do it.
And the kids let you leave them at home?
Without ice cream?
Well, I mean, you're 17, 10, and 12.
Yeah.
I mean, they're fine.
I figured they'd say, Dad, bring me back
for
some ice cream.
No, they don't know. What they don't know isn't going to hurt them. They'll be fine.
Oh, they didn't know. See, now we know the truth.
We just tell the older one.
We just tell the older one, we're like, we'll be home, and we'll be home 30 minutes later than normal. And they're like, whatever.
Well, and fortunately, we also live, Nicole's parents are close by, and my mom's here part of the year, but mostly her parents will go over and do a date night and have drop the kids off at her parents, or they'll come over here, and it's nice to have that support with grandparents and that kind of thing. So but yeah, I mean, yeah, we just earlier in our marriage, I mean, we were very methodical systematic about scheduling date nights, and we're not quite as systematic about it now, but I don't know, life's just gotten a little more complicated and just more, I don't want to say busy, but nuanced, but we still do it. I mean, maybe it's not as much, but I mean, one of our favorite date nights is to, drop the kids off and go grab some subs and chairs and go sit out on the beach, right? And go for a walk. I think we would rather do that than sit in any steakhouse or anything like that. I mean, it's super low key and just.
But that's also born out of like we were broke. And
yeah,
so,
that's true.
It's
starting.
a cheap date.
But I mean, I still would rather do that than anything. And being outside, I mean, we both like to be outside, whether, going for walks. We don't do it very often, hardly ever do it, but we're both certified scuba divers.
Okay.
And our oldest is too.
You don't have a lot of conversation under the water, though.
No, but, going on trips. I mean, we went for our 20th
We can do Morse
anniversary.
code with the bubbles.
As long as I don't tell him I'm out of air, he's okay.
Yeah.
We went on a cruise to Bermuda for our 20th anniversary and went diving there. I mean, so, we do it when we can, but yeah, I mean, I think we've learned that it doesn't have to be anything fancy, right? It's just time. Like the good thing, the probably the best thing about our marriage is that we just enjoy spending time together.
We just like each other.
We do. Yeah, I mean,
That's a very important factor.
I mean, truly, like we really do like each other, and we tell our kids all the time, we got to go do something because someday y'all are gonna be gone, and you want us to still like each other. They're gonna be moved out, and we gotta still have to like each other.
Yeah, we got moving out in less than a year.
Yeah, because he's
College.
17.
Yeah, so that's an important thing. topic you just kind of brought up about, because a lot of, I'm sure you've probably seen around your friends or even family and on our size, once these people, they have this empty nest thing because they haven't been investing in the relationship throughout those years when the kids were in at home. The next thing you know, it's like, okay, what do we do now?
Who are you? What do we talk about?
And so that is an important factor to be intentional about that. I don't know if you can speak more into that or not.
Yeah, I mean,
We're not there. I mean, we're not completely there
yeah,
yet.
we've got friends that are getting there like quick. And so we're sort of looking at them. I mean, one of those is your boss, our pastor. Like they've got a son that is moving on, that is in college. He's in his second year. And so we're kind of like back, kind of watching what they're doing and kind of how they're dealing with all of that. But
Yeah, that's the good thing about having friends and working with people and knowing people from church that are in different stages as you, because we're able to look at them and go, okay, how are they doing it? And they give us advice. And then I'm talking to the people behind us going, okay, here's how you navigate this.
right. Yeah.
And so,
Yeah, I think the community has been a big help for that. And yeah, and just, spending time when we can I mean, I'd love to be able to go on, and something we haven't really talked about is just going on more small trips, like just a weekend trip once a year, twice a year, or she's got to go to a conference and maybe I can join her for a couple days, or I'm going to go to a conference and she's going to join me for a couple days, or whatever, just to to make time and to spend time together. And that way, I mean, we've got a senior in high school, we got one in middle school, so we've got a little, and then one still in elementary. So we got a little ways yet, but it's it's almost like working out, right? It's like a muscle that you have to, or the relationship. So like you have to keep it up, and then that way, when you really need it, it's there.
Yeah, yeah. And I think as you're sharing, it's just being intentional about it. It's finding those moments, because we're similar. I mean, we don't have a scheduled date night every week, but we're doing something, right? We just got to get out, whether it's take the walk, go for that coffee, whatever. You take those moments, and then especially we like to say like workations. Like we get to travel a little bit, and so if we do, we look for, okay, can we get there a little early or stay later, even if it's just a day, just to enjoy the area that we're traveling to. Because like when I was in corporate, we'd go our meetings would be in these great locations, and people would be like, oh, that's cool, you get to stay there. And I'm like, yeah, but we're just in meetings the whole time.
I would ask Robert, honey, how was the weather? Did you think I don't know, the meeting was day and the meeting went into the evening. And so he's like, I never left the hotel.
yeah.
And it'd be like, somewhere really nice, like Robert said. I'd be like, oh my gosh, because I see people having conferences in Hawaii. I'm like, that's great. But if I go to Hawaii, I don't want to be sitting in a room like with no windows.
Yeah.
the
You
whole
won't see me at the conference.
Yeah. So totally get that. So I always look for, now that you have a little more flexibility with our schedule too, now that when we're traveling for business or whatever, we're always trying to be intentional about kind of booking front or back end with that. Any last parting advices for those couples that are busy like you, just to find those moments to be able to thrive in tandem? Because like I said, it doesn't have to be big, doesn't have to be expensive. It's just that time together.
It is the time. Go walk the dog together.
Yeah.
There are times when we just walk the dog. I mean, it can be in the mundane. It's just those connections.
Yeah.
We're certainly not perfect. Goodness gracious. We still have a lot to learn.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just whether it's, embracing it in the midst of life. I mean, if it's a really busy week, and if you're like, let's just drive down the road and go get ice cream for 30 minutes or walk the dog or whatever it is, it does not have to be. And honestly, I think the conversations that we've had in those minor moments, right, are a lot of times more impactful to our relationship than like going out on a date. It's just,
there have been many conversations where we're walking the dog a solid mile and a half, and I'm just and he's like,
hey, but that's
but I mean,
Bobblehead.
yeah, but life is gonna keep moving on whether we stop and spend time together or not. So we but we need to take time to be intentional, because we just don't want to end up. The company's going to end at some point. Like our kids are going to move out, in theory. And so
You don't want them to live at home when they're 50.
No, not unless they're coming back to take care of me in my old age. But all those things are inevitable. And the only thing that is somewhat assured is that my marriage will still be there, like if I work on it. And so I need to continue to, we try to continue to work on that through the business and through working together in the business and kids. And it's just kind of it's definitely an interesting ride as we navigate paying bills and getting clients. And it's tricky when your entire livelihood for a long time relies on one person. That's a lot of pressure. And so we just try to keep having patience with each other and talking through those things.
Yeah. Well, that's a good way to end. So yeah, just taking those moments, right? Because at the end of the day, it's the two of you that are going to be together. So make it count. Robbie and Nicole, thank you for coming on Thriving in Tandem. Really appreciate you sharing your story and being vulnerable.
Thank you.
All right. So for those of you listening, since you're still listening, I know this has been impactful. So go ahead and share this with another married entrepreneur who needs to hear this. And until next week, God bless. Thank you for listening to the Thriving in Tandem podcast. Please visit our website, marriedentrepreneur.co, for a variety of free resources to help your marriage and business succeed.
And feel free to leave us a review and share this episode with another married entrepreneur. That would mean so much to us.
See you next week.